Hi everyone, welcome back to Monday Positivity. Welcome if you are new, welcome back if you're a returning subscriber. And today we are going to talk about journaling for beginners. If you're someone who wants to start with journaling or who doesn't know what journaling is, or if you're someone who just has been, maybe wondering what is this journaling. This episode is for you. This episode will give you clarity on journaling, what it is, and how you can start journaling. Journaling is nothing but writing down, right? Now, it depends what are you writing down? Have you ever stared at a blank page and thought, what am I even supposed to write here? You are not alone. This is journaling, and journaling can feel awkward or pointless when you're just starting out. But once you understand how powerful it is, and more importantly, how simple it can be, it becomes one of the most grounding tools in your self awareness journey. And today I want to demystify journaling for you. No pressure, no perfection, just a simple invitation to meet yourself on paper. Now, before we start, let's understand why do we eat, why do we even need to start journaling? Why should we even journal? Because let's get real, life moves fast. Sometimes your mind feels like 35 browser tabs open at once. And journaling is that one tab that brings everything back into focus. For me personally, journaling is where I have cried without judgment. It's where I've celebrated quietly. It's where I've met my honest thoughts, myself, my shadows, my inner child, and walked through decisions that felt overwhelming. And you don't need to be a writer. You don't need to have fancy notebooks or hours of free time. You just need a moment of honesty with yourself. That's what journaling provides you. Why even journal? Well, to gain mental clarity, to clear your mind's clutter, to build self awareness, to understand yourself better. And journaling actually helps you understand your patterns and habits, your triggers, and how to work with that. It actually becomes a mirror to your inner world, and you can align your day with your values and intentions if you know how to journal. Okay, well, now you'll ask, how do I start? Here's the simplest way to begin journaling. First and foremost, you need to choose your medium. Medium can be anything. You can choose a digital device or you can choose a notebook, right? You can have a notebook, a diary, Google Doc, Notes app on your phone, doesn't matter. What matters is accessibility. Whatever is accessible to you can be your medium. And then you have to pick a time that suits you. Some people like to journal in the morning, some like to do it in the evening. And it's not like you have to journal just in the morning or only in the evening. You can journal whenever you want. You can journal throughout the day if you want that. And as I said, different people will have different preferences. I prefer mornings and evenings. It sets the tone for my day in the in the morning, and in the evening I can reflect using my journal. And like I said, you can time it. You can give it 5 minutes, set a timer for 5 minutes, and that's it. I don't like to use timers. I like to free journal. But if you feel like you have limited amount of time, you can time it. And if you don't know how to start, you can always start with prompts. What are prompts? Prompts are lifesavers for someone who is just starting with journaling. When your mind goes blank, prompts help you connect with yourself. Prompts are nothing but questions that can help you get started with journaling. For example, a very simple prompt can be, what am I feeling right now? You're just supposed to write about that. Or it could be, what's taking up most of my headspace today? Or it can be, what would make today a good day? What am I avoiding and why? If I could speak freely, what would I say? What are 10 things I'm grateful for in my life? It could be anything. Prompts help you get started with journaling. And don't worry about your grammar, your spelling, or making sense of what you're writing. This isn't an exam, right? You can write in fragments, you can doodle, you can be messy. This is about truth, not performance. You don't have to perform for anybody here. You are just writing your heart out. You're just writing about whatever you want to write about, right? And now let me also share different types of journaling. You can pick any of these, whatever resonates with you, because not everyone vibes with the same method. I've heard people talk about different kinds of journaling, and I cannot go with every style of journaling. So, here are a few you can explore and you can pick what resonates with you. The first type is stream of consciousness journaling. This is actually a very simple one. Stream of consciousness means writing exactly what comes to your mind. And it has to be unfiltered without worrying about, again, structure, logic, grammar, anything. And for this kind of journaling, again, if you are running short of time, you can set a timer for 5 to 15 minutes and you can just start writing non-stop. Even if you write, I don't know what to write, that is also stream of consciousness journaling. You don't have to reread it or edit it. Just let the thoughts spill out on the paper. And this method is actually the best to use when your mind feels cluttered or overwhelmed. Because when your mind feels overwhelmed, there are a lot of things going on inside your head. Sometimes it's really hard to make sense of it all, and sometimes it's really hard to get the clarity we actually need in that specific moment. And in those moments, you can use stream of consciousness journaling, right? Stream of consciousness journaling. It can help you uncover your hidden feelings, once you start writing your hidden patterns, your inner dialogue, right? Another type of journaling is gratitude journaling, and as the name suggests, its main focus is to it's a daily practice of writing down things you're thankful for to shift focus from lack to abundance. And for this also, every day you can start with a list of 3 to 5 things. You can increase it if you want. You can write 10 things you're grateful for. And it doesn't really have to be things. You can write about people also, right? You just have to keep it simple and specific. It can be, I'm grateful for this warm cup of tea. I'm grateful for my friend's message. I'm grateful for breathing, right? And if you want, you can also add the whys. Why am I grateful for that? Right? And this type of journaling, this method is the best to use when you're feeling negative, low, or constantly comparing yourself with others. It helps you rewire your brain to notice the good. And it is also ideal for building a positive mindset over time. Another type is prompt based journaling. And this type of journaling is used with some guided questions or prompts to direct your self reflection and exploration. So you can pick any question like, what am I afraid of right now? Or what does my inner child need to hear today? And then you reflect deeply on that and write freely without censorship, right? You can use 2, 3 prompts every day, more than that, or you can use one prompt per day or per week, right? And whenever you are feeling stuck, specifically if you're a beginner, you are new to journaling, you will feel stuck, and you can use prompt based journaling then. And also, when you want to dig deeper into specific themes like healing, identity, relationships, growth. I remember when I started shadow work, I used to use a lot of shadow work prompts. Prompt based journaling helped me a lot to understand my shadows. And prompt based journaling is actually a wonderful tool for building self awareness, and it's great for emotional processing as well. Another type is goal journaling. Goal journaling is a space to clarify, plan, and track progress on your personal and professional goals. Again, using this journaling, you can keep track of your goals. You can write down your long term and short term goals, and then you can break them into daily, weekly action steps So you have a long term goal, short term goal, and then weekly goals, and then daily goals, right? This helps you track your habits, your wins, your challenges. You can reflect on what worked, what didn't work, what's next, right? Specifically for money goals, career goals, fitness goals, and personal development, if you're someone who's working on personal development, I would recommend goal journaling. It will help you stay focused and motivated. It will help you see progress over time and hold yourself accountable. Another type of journaling is emotional processing journaling. And this type of journaling actually provides a safe, private space to release, feel, and process emotions you can't yet express elsewhere. If you're someone who is not comfortable seeking therapy or talking to someone, you can use emotional processing journaling. And it's all about writing letters to yourself, to your higher self, to your younger self, to other people. So you have to write letters you don't intend to send. You just write the letter to the person, but you don't send it actually, right? So it's sort of like a rant, a vent, a cry, curse, asking questions. It can be anything. You can describe the physical sensations of emotions, whether you're feeling pressure, heat, or tightness. You don't have to be polite or wise for emotional processing journaling. You just have to be real. And this type of journaling is the best tool during or after emotional triggers, grief, conflict, or stress. When you need clarity, release, or healing, you can, it can help reduce overthinking and self suppression. If you're someone who is going through grief, who lost somebody, obviously you can't talk to them. You can write them a letter. If you went through a heartbreak, if you're going through breakup, and sometimes it's really hard to get that closure in breakups, you can write the letter to the other person. In your family, if let's say you are upset or triggered by someone's behavior, you can write a letter to them. The idea is not to send it to them, right? It's for you. And the last one is manifestation journaling. Now, as the name implies, manifestation, right? Writing as if your dream life is already happening, embodying the mindset and energy of your future self. And how do you do it? You use the present tense. For example, I'm so grateful for the amazing clients I get to work with. You visualize yourself, you describe the life you are calling in. You write about your routines, your feelings, your experiences as if they already exist. And you can include affirmations or a script for your ideal day. Manifestation journaling is just writing down, scripting your life the way you want it to be. And this is the best tool for attracting a vision into reality, to shift from doubt to belief, and to build self trust and energetic alignment with your goals. Now, I talked about all these types of journalings, and some days you'll want to do it, some days you you'll just want to write I'm tired. And trust me, that's journaling too. Even if you write, I don't know what to write today, that's journaling too. Now, I also want to talk about common blocks when it comes to journaling because people face these challenges when they start journaling. And I'll tell you how you can deal with those challenges. So, the number one challenge is time. I don't have time to write, to reflect. See, you don't have time if I ask you to do it for 1 hour or 2, 3 hours every day. You don't have to go that far. Start with 5 minutes. 5 minutes is enough. And it's not like you have to specifically sit and write. You can keep a notebook by your bed. So maybe first thing in the morning when you wake up, you can just write something down. When you're about to sleep, you can write something down. You can keep a notebook in your bag, in your purse, right? If you're traveling, maybe if nothing else, you can write. And you don't really have to write. You can also use voice notes if needed. You can just record yourself, right? So you can't say, I don't have time. You can spare 5 minutes at least. And another challenge is, I don't know what to write. As a beginner, I don't know where to start. I don't know what to write. Well, I gave you the solution. You can always use prompts. And if you just Google, there are so many prompts online, right? And as I said, even if you write, I'm tired today, I don't know what to write today, that is also journaling. And the most critical challenge, what if someone reads it? Well, yes, someone can read it, but for that, you have to be responsible enough for your journals. You can hide it. There are many locked journals these days, and if it is a digital journal, you can lock it too with PIN or app, with a password, sorry, not an app, with a password. And if you are writing it on a piece of paper, you can burn it later safely, you know. Uh, but don't let this fear stop you from writing, from connecting with yourself, from journaling. There are so many ways to keep your journal safe. And let me also tell you my experience. There were days, I was so low, I didn't want to speak to anyone, but I still wrote. My first book, 10 Days to the Ultimate You, it was the result of my journaling only. At that time, I was going through a lot of things and I didn't know who to speak with. And I was also not comfortable speaking with anybody. And I started writing, I started journaling, I started talking to myself. And that led to the compilation of this book, these many chapters, of the book, 10 Days to the Ultimate You. And again, sometimes I used to write 10 pages, sometimes I used to write just 2 lines. Journaling helped me realize why I felt what I was feeling. It helped me track my patterns. It helped me hold space for myself. And most importantly, it helped me keep promises to myself. And when I say you have to make it sacred, if you make something sacred, you start to understand its importance. It becomes important for you. But when I say that you have to make it sacred, it's not like you have to build an altar for this, or you don't have to, you don't need incense or candles to make journaling sacred, right? What I mean by that is that it should be something special, right? Like your journals are special because they hold something, like they, first of all, they hold space for you, right? So if you want to use, you can use incense, you can use candles, but even if you use soft lighting, a cup of tea, um, just maybe gentle music in the background, anything that works for you, right? Let your journaling time become that no negotiable space that belongs to you. And finally, I also want to say, because mostly when we start journaling, it becomes a productivity habit. It is not about productivity. Journaling is about presence. Like I said, you don't have to pay attention to the sentence structure, the grammar, spellings, and all of that. It's about presence. It's not about making sense of everything. It's about meeting yourself, even when you make no sense at all. So start small, stay honest, and remember every word you write is a step closer to knowing who you really are. And here is a challenge for you for this week, for the coming week, or whenever you are listening to this episode. Just open your notebook today and write down this challenge that for the next 7 days, you are going to wake up every morning and start with this 5-minute practice. What is this practice? And I know if you're a beginner, again, you will struggle with what to write. So I'm giving you this one simple prompt. How am I really feeling today? That's it. Just start with it. Do it for 7 days and see how you feel. And when I say, how am I really feeling today? It's not like you just have to answer it. Maybe you will write, I'm feeling amazing today because, and then let the conversation build upon that, right? And trust me, you'll be surprised by how much lighter your mind becomes when your thoughts have somewhere to go.